You ever get paid and then a week later you're wondering where all the money went? Yeah, that used to be me literally every other week. Hey y'all, welcome back to Level Up With Keeks, the space where we talk money, mindset, and building your soft life. It's long overdue, but today I'm gonna be taking you guys through a September Payday Reset. Yeah, it's been a minute. August was a high spend month. Don't know what to tell you. We move on. September's a new month. It's payday. It's time to get back on track as usual. I literally say this every time. So we'll be covering my income, bills, debt, savings, and yes, fun money. If there's any left. It's funny because I was thinking I've been literally doing these budget with me payday videos all of this year, but I realized I never really touched on the one thing that has actually made budgeting work, or any tool that has to do with finances work for me, and that is mindset. Because before you can start budgeting successfully, before you can tap into financial abundance, real financial abundance, you have to shift what you believe is possible. If your inner voice is still saying things like, I'll never get ahead, I'm bad with money, I never stick to a budget, then no spreadsheet in the world is gonna save you. I'm just being honest. But that's why I created the 7-day Money and Mindset Makeover Workbook. This workbook is the true first step to changing your financial life. In 7 days, you're gonna uncover the beliefs that have been keeping you stuck, rewire them into empowering ones, and start building habits that actually align with the abundant life you're working towards. This is the piece that most people miss, and that's why their budgets never stick. That's why they find it's hard for them to keep money in their hands, and when they have 50 bucks, they spend it right away. It is truly this piece that has to be worked on before any spreadsheet, before any, banking app, before any new routine that is gonna help you grow financially can be stuck with. So if you've ever sat down to budget and thought like, why am I still stuck? Why can I never stick to these things? Why is it hard for me to continue when this is something I so badly wanna do? This is your sign that you need a mindset reset. And this workbook is gonna be your blueprint out of survival mode and into alignment. 7 days is all it takes to stop feeling like money is always slipping through your fingers and start feeling like you're finally in control. As with anything I mention, you can find it in my Stanstore, which I will link in the description and also in the comments. Now let's get into it. As per usual, if you are not new here, you know what's up next. I'm gonna be opening up the tool that I use to keep track of my payday budget, my yearly spending, my monthly spending, my plans, my savings, my debt tracking, all of that good stuff. And that is the Coplenty Yearly Budget 2.0 tracker. It's simple, it's customizable, and honestly, it's turned this sort of like financial reset activity into Zen me time, or I should say Zen us time, because my favorite part about it is that I am yapping in this camera and I'm talking to you guys and we're doing it together. So I really love it. And if your mindset's already taken care of, because that is the most important, and you want to start tracking your money similar to how I am, I use the Yearly Budget 2.0 tracker, and you can find the link to purchase it in my Stanstore as well. If you know me, you know I love color coding my tracker, so every month has got its own little vibe going on. Some colors feel very repeat, but I can't help what I feel. So for September, I chose a nice kind of like grayish blue. I'm very much a person who needs it to have the color. This is how it looks standard, and I don't know, it's just something about this mucky red. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I don't like it. I'm not keeping one of those tabs. I mean, I think I did for January. Oh, even I changed January. So yeah, I like to change it. It makes it mine. It makes it more fun for me to come up on here and do my payday routine. So do whatever you need to do to feel good about doing your payday routine, okay? Okay, so starting with income, I've already I barely even tried to put stuff that I was expecting for September. I just tried to clean it up because I did not take you guys through August. August was such a busy month. Your girl was a hot girl. It's giving baddie. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, I didn't get into the August. So I wanted to clean up August so that we could start this September payday fresh. And so I just put in like expected income, but what I'm gonna do right now is go through all of my expected income, any e-transfers that I've received, any gifted money, and put it in the actuals so that we can start tracking this out. Okay, so that's that for income. My mom sent me an e-transfer. I've gotten a couple pays in, and then in terms of my Wealth Simple checking interest, I got 17 bucks interest accrued in my emergency funds account and $7 from interest accrued just in my everyday checking account, which we love free money. We really do. We really do. So in terms of the total income right now, we are currently sitting at $4,283.77, which is great. The next thing we're gonna do is enter all of our transactions for September, which it's currently September 5th. So if I have a lot, I don't even want to know. If I've already run up a check, I don't want to know. But let's get into it and see. So when it comes to entering the transactions, another reason I love this tracker is because to do so, there is just a really long section all the way down here. As you can see, I can scroll forever. And basically all you need to do is enter every transaction that you've done in this section. And the second you categorize it, it will populate into all of these other sections that we will go through. So the bills, the subscriptions, the expenses, savings, debts, etc. So it's super easy for me to do because I'm only updating one section as opposed to going through all of these things, and it will total, accumulate, consolidate, and place it in the correct area. So we're gonna go on another 2x and we're gonna enter the transactions for September. Okay, so considering it's only been 5 days of September, I would say this is a bit much. I'm not gonna lie to you. 1 second, I'm just going to sort this. So we can see that there have been 21 transactions in the past 5 days. It's gonna be another one today because I need to pick up groceries to cook some food. Yeah, a little bit on the high end, but a lot of them are recurring expenses. We have my mortgage that came out, condo fees, business expenses, auto deposits into my emergency funds, and RRSP, things like that. So I'm not too upset about it, but let's dive deeper into where all this money went, starting with savings. Now, the reason I wanna start off with savings is because it is super important to pay yourself first. Especially you guys already know that my main goal when it comes to saving, what my savings goal is, has been to save my emergency fund that was pretty much completely depleted at the beginning of this year, and also to build up some RRSP investments and contribute to my RRSP because tax season is gonna come around next year and I don't wanna get done the way I got done this year, okay? That's all I gotta say. Now, you can look at this section. It's gonna be super simple and quick because as you guys can see, the only savings contributed towards have been my emergency funds and my RRSP managed portfolio. Now, you'll see that the totals are different in terms of budget than what I've been working towards. In previous months, the goal amount has been $1,300 for my emergency funds per month contributed and $800 per month for my RRSP managed portfolio. Now it's gone down a bit, so it's $1,050 per month for my emergency funds and $620 per month for my managed portfolio. This is because your girl is in some debt, so the dollars had to be, ooh, that was a stutter. Sorry. So the dollars had to be moved around a little bit. If you guys want to see more about my debt that I've accrued, why I accrued the debt to begin with, it's very much girly pop. Such a responsible gal like me, it is very funny that this is how I've put myself in debt for the first time in literally close to a decade. I digress. If you want to watch that, I have a new series called Debt Me Out, which you guys can watch here. Episode 3 is coming out this month, and yeah, it's really a raw, honest view of me trying to figure out what it is like to carry debt, how I'm gonna pay it down, and the most convenient, easy, efficient, and smart ways for me to pay it down based on the tools and resources I have access to. So if you are also in debt and you know it's a little bit overwhelming, don't feel any ways about it. Watch my series. Let's work through our debt together. I'm not too pressed about it. I'm actually not pressed about it at all, but it did mean that there needed to be some adjustments in terms of contributions to my emergency funds and my RRSP. The quickest way to pay yourself first, and the only way to really ensure you're paying yourself first every time, never missing a beat, is to set up auto deposits, auto withdrawals, whatever you want to call them, automatic transfers. And essentially what this does is when I get my paycheck into my everyday checking account, the second that's in there, because I have an automatic transfer set up, what is it, 4/17/26, immediately it gets taken out and put into my emergency fund. Technically in my sleep, I've already paid myself. By the time I wake up and I look at my checkings, this is the amount that I have left after paying my savings and taking care of what I needed to take care of. I'm not a financial advisor, but I highly recommend it if you're someone like me who gets the ADHD, who forgets. If you watch some of my older videos, you'll see that there were literal months that I did not contribute to my emergency funds simply because I hadn't set up automatic transfers and was doing it manually and forgot to do it. And by the end of the month, I had already overspent by like 600 bucks. This is a way for you to make sure that the money you're supposed to contribute is taken care of. And what you're looking at is what's actually left for you to spend. So anyways, that's it for savings. I've contributed $417.26 to emergency funds so far. I've contributed $220 to my RRSP so far. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at. The next paycheck, I should have this topped up and finished off. But let's get into our bills and see what came out this month so far. All right, so next we're gonna go into bills, and actually I'm just gonna lump this in with subscriptions, so call it bills and subscriptions. My bills and my subscriptions are pretty small. So starting with the bills first, my bank fee has come out. Right now it's looking like zero. So far I had one of my checking bank fees come out for $4, but then later I got a rebate for $4. So all I did was simply enter the $4 transaction in that transactions chart, and then I put another one for negative $4 so that I took it back out. That means I'm gonna come in under budget by $4, which is awesome. I think I'm just waiting for one more fee to come out. Now, when it comes to condo fees, that did come out on the 2nd. My meter G has not come out yet. My parking spot not due until the 15th. And property taxes, this row is actually gonna be crossed out from now on because with my new mortgage that I renewed, the property taxes payments are actually gonna come out of that mortgage payment. So it's gonna be tracked in the debt section moving forward. Whereas when I had my old mortgage, I handled my property tax payments separately, so I tracked them here. TD home insurance, not needed. Moving on to subscriptions and memberships. Did anything come out? No, nothing came out. Only thing we have to track really is ChatGPT, Spotify, Good Life, and CapCut. I really put Good Life, but my mom's been paying for that. I'm going to pay her today. In total, I've spent $530.63 so far on bills and $0 so far on subscriptions. Keep it up. Okay, next, let's look at the expenses. I feel like because I'm recording this at the start of the month and it is like a clean slate, it's so nice to, for the most part, not see any red, but because I'm me, there is some red. So let's get into it. For groceries, my budget is $290. I've spent $53.14 so far, doing great. Dining out and entertainment, budget is $100. I've spent $23.94. Uber Eats, budget is $50. I've spent $47.95. And this was because I Uber Eats groceries that didn't even arrive to my location. I just Uber Eats groceries for a ghost. I really hope that that delivery driver took the groceries home and made some food. And lesson learned. Joe, her budget's $128.19. Currently I've spent nothing, but I expect some more food to come out of the budget very shortly. Personal care is $75. This I do expect to go up because body wash is running low, face wash is running low. Transportation, $140 is the budget. Currently spent $35.77. I expect this to go up as well because I'm gonna be kind of not really house sitting for my dad, but he's going away and I need to be at their house because they're getting their bathroom renovated. There's gonna be a little bit of driving because I have access to their car. So that's gonna get done. I expect to be using pretty much the full budget there. Hobbies, no budget, no spending. Fitness, $70. I need to send my mom $68 for Good Life, so that should come out of that. YouTube video editor, payment is not due, so nothing spent there yet. Donations and gifting, I did spend a little bit over. So my ex's grandparents sewed my pillow, my like childhood Lion King 2 pillow. Okay, so this was a delicacy, so I did get them a card. And I also got my mom a journal because she needs to start journaling. She's been going through it. It was getting a little bit crazy. I said, you need to put some things down on paper. Yeah. So a little bit extra gifting. I also donated to Oxfam. That's the usual. That comes out every month, $35. But obviously I'm happy to gift. It feels good to get people things. So that is totally fine. Household, $150. I do expect some expenses to come out here because we are low on paper towel. I need some bleach and I need some soap, like hand soap and other tools. Apparently I also need a mop. Super annoying, but the one I got from Amazon is really great. So I've loved it. It's lasted me 2 years, way longer than I ever expected. But yeah, I might need a new mop. So I do expect this to go to the max budget, if not maybe a little bit over. Miscellaneous so far, $24.85. That is because Love Island Reunion signed up for Crave on a 7-day free trial. I did naturally forget to cancel it. So it did charge me for 1 month, but I'm going to put it in my calendar right now to cancel that John. And she's in. Business expenses, yes, we say nothing, we move on. $51 so far. Health and wellness, $70. I do need to pick up some prescriptions, so money will come out of there. And social media manager, $300 has been paid. So that's what the expenses are looking like right now, for a grand total of $620 spent so far. So pretty much a third of the way through our budget. Oh, Josie, please calm down. Ouch. So we're about a third of the way through the budget for expenses so far. Let's go over the debt next. Okay, lastly, when it comes to debt, there's been some changes here, so let's go over them. These mortgage payments, when I think back to it, I have no clue why I separated them out 3 times. I literally have no clue why I did that. That was not smart. It wasn't very girly pop. It wasn't very demure. It wasn't very cutesy, but it was done. Anyways, it had to do with my old mortgage, which I currently don't have a budget for anymore because I renewed my mortgage and changed my mortgage provider. So I am going to just cross these out so that we know that that's not an expense that I'm worried about anymore. And what I did was I added some new debt along the bottom here. One of them is my MCAP mortgage. So MCAP is the new mortgage provider that I have. So yeah, let's get into it. When it comes to student loans, I of course expect $101 to come out this month, like it has been every month for the last 60 months. Laser treatment, I thought this was my last payment, but I gotta double check. So 1 second, please. I think we might have had the last payment, but we're not gonna get too excited. Either way, I'm not expecting anything to come out. When it comes to my Affirm MacBook payment, that did come out already at some point at the beginning of the month. Income taxes, we don't gotta deal with that for a little while. You'll see 3 new things here. One is the MCAP mortgage, like I said. Another are 2 line of credits, which I won't say too much about, but basically keep an eye out for my Debt Me Out episode number 3, because that's where we really get into the nitty-gritty about what those are, okay? When it comes to the MCAP mortgage, this is a bi-monthly mortgage, so it should come out on the 1st and the 30th. So I just have to look at the calendar and see if the 1st came out already. The 30th doesn't fall on a weekend. That's usually when you can expect to have the payment come out. If it's a weekend, then it's usually gonna trickle over into the next month. So in terms of budget, it would be 1 times 2. I can expect to make 2 payments this month. They will come out on the 1st and the 15th. Okay, that makes sense. I think that's why I did 3 lines, because there were different paydays, like mortgage payment days. It's not that important. It really isn't. I wish I didn't break it out 3 times, but it's fine. In terms of stats, I can consolidate and figure it out, but that was a little dumb moment for me. And yeah, it's totally fine. So that's it for debt. It's looking a little bit different. $3743.75 is what is projected. Currently so far, $1,606 has been spent, but there's currently $2137 left in the debt budget that's gonna be allocated. So we'll see how that goes and what dates those monies come out. Now for the best part, let's do the monthly snapshot and then look at the yearly overview so far. I feel like most months we are very concerned what number we're gonna drum roll, but I think because September just started, I should be fine. So drum roll please. Okay, good, we're good. This is why I don't worry anymore. Got $3,544.02 left to spend. In terms of actuals, we're doing okay, but we're gonna have to see where we net out. But for now, we're doing fine. So we've got $3,544 left to spend. Total income so far has been $4,394.90, and total expenses have been $3,394.13. Okay, so I feel like this is more of an accurate number. It's actually around $1,000.77. And the reason it seems like it's high over here is because there was some carryover from August. The carryover was because there was a lot of spending happening. Look at the transactions, look how freaking long the track. I'm one person, you should never have transactions this long. But yeah, money was spent. That's all you need to know. Your girl was going outside. Anywho, that's how September looks so far. The carried over budget, I'm gonna need to figure out and make sure it's allocated so that it reflects the $1,000 that we have left, and just make sure everything's clean. But let's look at the annual snapshot quickly. Slide over here to the dashboard. All right, it is September and total income so far is $92,760.62. That's total income. Total expenses have been around $89,822.75. This difference is why you will always see maybe a higher total than what is actually left to spend based on your income for that month. is the carryover. So like I said, I'm gonna look into it deeper just to make sure everything's been allocated where it's supposed to be, and that any extra money, if it's not in my pockets anymore, has been taken out and reflects accurately. Since I definitely have spent more than I planned. Debt looks the same, still taking up about 50%. Expenses taking out a good slice of the pie. Savings are actually making a decent indent in this pie. It wasn't really doing too much before, but now that we've progressed in the year, we're making some progress there. And bills taking up what? 12%. It's the debt. The debt is the mortgage that really, I feel like, is a bit of a crazy one, but psycho. All right, so let's quickly go over into the savings and debt tracker here and see how we're progressing. So same sort of goals here. The savings that we're working towards is, like I said, the emergency fund and the RRSP. A firm MacBook and my laser treatment are the debts that I am working to pay off. Starting with emergency funds, the goal has been $25,800. We are currently sitting at just under 10K. Call it 10K, but because by the time my next pay comes in, we'll have passed over that 10K point. Amazing. Back from like almost nothing. So that's awesome. When it comes to the RRSP, the goal was 10K, and so far we're at about 4640, so we're almost halfway through that goal. When it comes to our firm MacBook payment, total amount $4,068. We've currently paid down about $3,051 through this tracker, meaning through all the updates that I've taken you guys through. So we have only $1,000 left. We're 75% of the way through. And when it comes to laser treatment, bro, we're done. It's $0. We did it. The goal was that by September it would be paid. So that's an extra 200 buckaroonies that's going to the emergency fund, I'll tell you that much. Cool. So that's it for the savings and debt tracker. Next, I want to just, since we are at the beginning of September and we have a clean slate and we haven't really done a like plans for the month kind of vibe, I want to go over what the goals are this month. All right, so it wouldn't be a monthly reset if we didn't actually take time to do a little bit of a reset. You guys have seen the budget so far, the payday breakdown, how I've sorted that out. But let's talk about the lifestyle check-in and reset that we're gonna be doing here. Okay, it's gonna be a crazy one, but let's just go over sort of some updates and like my main 3 focuses for the month of September. First update is this condo. I have been seriously considering renting out my condo and moving back to my parents' basement. I don't even know really what to explain with that, but there have been a lot of learnings when it comes to home ownership. I feel like I'm in a season where I'm very having like this bug to travel. Current plan is to rent out my place, but the initial plan was going to be to sell my place. I talked to my real estate agent. We got some details. If I was to sell my place right now, I would actually owe $60,000 after all is said and done. Yeah, crazy. Just think being anchored here right now is not really the place that I need to be. There was so much in purchasing this condo for my independence, doing things on my own. I mean, like my YouTube has blown up since moving here, so I'm super grateful to be here. But I also had a lot of other plans. Like I was with my ex at the time. We're supposed to be building a life together. I'm single now. We're doing different things. Life has took a pivot. We're on the pivot. So I feel like now that I'm not really confined to staying here, then do I need to stay here? Because this girl, she's a traveler. And after having that thought process, I was like, yeah, maybe I don't need to stay here and pay, as you guys have seen, month to month to month, over $4,000 in debt. Well, debt slash expenses and bills. Most of that debt coming from mortgage, condo fees, parking, property taxes. Like the actual cost of home ownership, in my eyes, worth it. It's not worth it. But ask me in 10 years from now, maybe when I sell the condo, if it's worth it. You know, we'll measure it out. But yeah, it's been worth it to have my freedom, but I really wish I would have just rented, honestly. And that's why I have this channel, because I will do it and let you know how it goes so that you don't have to do it too. So if you're someone who thinks you have to buy a home, genuinely, I strongly urge you to consider all of the options and look into what that costs, and if the cost or the juice is worth the squeeze for you. Because yeah, I wanted my own place to live. I could have rented, and all of the extra money that I've been paying towards property taxes, towards condo fees, towards parking spaces, towards extra things that come with home ownership could have gone into investing. I'm trying to get back into that and do something that feels more aligned, because building wealth for me comes from alignment. So when I'm doing the things that I enjoy doing that light my fire, the money is always there. I want to try living that life in other locations and traveling and seeing what the digital nomad life provides. That's always been kind of a goal. Work from anywhere, maybe on a beach. Like, I think that's the next chapter we need to go into now. So yeah, definitely a whole separate video, but that's the number one shift that's coming for September. Is I'm going to be starting to clean out this place and working with my real estate agent to find a good renter, because we've all heard the horror stories. I'm manifesting a nice old lady who's collecting a pension. She's got a little bit of OCD, so she loves to keep things clean. She's got no pets, and she just loves to watch movies, crochet, and be clean. But yeah, you're gonna be seeing me filming in a new location very, very soon. So that is a priority for September, and I will be bringing y'all along the journey for that. Best believe. Now, the second thing I'm focusing on this September is the big goal that we've been talking about. As you guys know, by the end of the year, I do want to quit my 9-to-5. That has been the target, the goal that we've been moving towards this whole year. That's why I've been so focused on building up my emergency fund, just for that time of uncertainty in between, you know, quitting and whatever happens after that. When I tell you I have no clue what happens after that, it is like literally stepping into the unknown, but I just have full faith that everything's gonna work out, so we'll see how it goes. But the main thing that means is that income has to increase, and it has to start coming from somewhere. And I've been yapping a lot about it, but I haven't really been acting on it a lot. So I've updated my Stanstore with my core product that I mentioned earlier, which is the 7-day Money and Mindset Makeover Workbook. I'm gonna be using it myself genuinely to get myself into the headspace of this next level of abundance that I'm trying to manifest. And I've also re-strategized my content for TikTok, for YouTube Shorts, for Instagram, to really focus on generating income. So I already got the personality, I already know what I want to talk about, but your girl needs to learn more in the way of sales, in the way of creating a sales funnel and the buyer journey as a whole. I just be yapping, but I gotta have some strategy to it. So I did a lot of sitting down this month and like re-strategizing in detail what was gonna be done, and I'm smelling a very positive and a very successful month and months ahead in terms of income being generated outside of the 9-to-5. And thirdly, when it comes to my budget, which we just went through, my plan is to keep everything business as usual. I'm not focused on tightening up in any areas anymore. I feel like I've said this a couple of times before. At this point, there's not much I can really cut down. It's just about making more money. So yeah, no energy is going into cutting back is the main point. Instead, I'm focusing all of my energy into income generating activities. That's gonna be the main thing. And now that I've got my product set up in my Stanstore, there's also new freebies, so please go check it out. My only focus is putting my energy towards the activities, aka generating content that's gonna reach audiences, hopefully reach newer people, build a community, and get a lead list of people who actually also wanna work on their transformation. And Joe, you get the point. But yeah, I want to know about you guys. Are you in a season of cutting back and conserving, or are you in a season of expanding and growing your income like I am? Oh, geez Louise. You're gonna see everybody out now. Yeah. Let me know in the comments what season you're in. Comment below so I can read it. And yeah, that's my payday September reset. It's realistic, it's simple, and it's aligned. If you're ready to stop your payday from feeling like rinse and repeat in a negative way, go ahead and grab the workbook in my Stanstore. Start your mindset makeover, and let's build this wealthy, soft life together. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Love you. Bye. Ouch, Joe.